Well, I want to talk about how spiritual essence has defined my life and quickly move on to what I do with regards to that. So, I've been a meditator since 2008, and it's a funny set of circumstances that got me into it. I'd left my job, and one of my friends had always mentioned, my MBA friend, who said that you have a very short temper and you better do something about it. The moment I left my job, the first thing I wanted to do was to join a spiritual workshop just to see how that is and to see if it changes my life. I can bet it has, and it has changed a lot of things in my life. From that, I became a meditator, and I've changed my path after that one, but I just cannot get over the gratefulness that I have for that, for those teachers and the path that I began my spiritual journey with, my conscious spiritual journey with, let me put it like that. Life has not been the same. Now, the essence of that which I carry forward is one, the meditations that are the very foundation of my life. I think each one of us need that anchor to stay connected to. I wouldn't say stay strong, and that is something that I found in meditation. Also, shamanism came in my life about 9 years ago, and when that came in, I refuted it, honestly speaking. It is also difficult to explain what shamanism is. I will make an effort here. So shamanism is basically coming from the word animism, which means the essence of everything is carries a spirit. So whether it's a pen or a mobile or a human, every being has a spirit, and because every being has a spirit and we are a form of God, we can be divinized, we can be made into gods and receive guidance from. Now, all the elements of nature and the five elements that we are made up of, which are also available with Mother Nature, can be utilized in the form of healing people. So whether it's the herbs, it's the plants, it's the rattling or the drumming, it's the human beings, the stones, and everything, including the feathers, can be utilized because all of them represent one or more elements of nature, and nature in itself is whole, complete, and healed. So that essence can be transferred to us. Now, shamanic healing takes care of the imprints. When you go for energy healing, somebody's sending you energy healing. I've received that in my life, and it's absolutely effective. Shamanism comes in wherein it is long lasting, and the responsibility of the healing lies in your hands. We come in as a medium to facilitate that healing for you, and whether it's a generational curse, it's something that you've been with struggling with all your life, it is something which is newly come in, it could be in the form of genetics, physical illness that is either in you or you have a history of that running in the family. Like nowadays, something which is very common is a heart disease, a BP, diabetes, cancer. So all these things, what started to came about is that the anthropologists of US of A went down to South America, and they wanted to find cure for these new lifestyle illnesses that we have. And they found out that deep in the Amazon, there are no diseases like that. That's what intrigued them, and they started to move themselves. They started to go on this beautiful journey to uncover what was happening deep in the Amazon that the Americans and the model world has now forgotten. And the thing that they came up with is that those people live in complete ayni, AYNI, which can actually be closely translated into English as in reciprocity too. Now, there is an exchange that happens in the environment. What you are giving out is what you get in. So that internal harmony, the irony of being with yourself as a fully congruent whole being is extremely important. And so is that irony with the outside world. We were in irony with ourselves in terms of the decisions and the kind of life we lived, and we've been in irony with the nature in the past. And hence diseases would not touch us or would just pass through us. This is what happens with people in the Amazon, around the Amazon. So they started to pick that information and then look at modernistic ways to implement that in life. So shamanism today is more like neo-shamanism, which is basically about healing from all the imprints. It works in this area domain. This area domain is the energy domain, the aura domain. It is the luminous energy field that I have. It's when you come into this field, you feel good of being with me. You don't feel comfortable, you feel very comfortable. This is the space you want to create with the other person and stay away from. So this energetics is something we begin to play around and heal in the domain of the shamanism. The chakras play an important role because a chakra is a nexus of the nervous system and an endocrine system. So when that gets worked upon, then that automatically gives new and updated information to the brain, which then updates or upgrades the body further. This is in essence of what shamanism is and how it works. Now let's move on to the rites and ceremonies in shamanism. Now, if you look at the Hindu tradition, or you look at Christianity, take Buddhism, look at Islam, all the religions of the world come with a set of rites and ceremonies. The rites of passage have been extremely essential to every culture. Now, in the name of being busy, we ignore them. And honestly speaking, we have begun to see the repercussions of that. I will leave that for a personal discussion some of the day with you, these days with you. Now, when you begin to see that how important are ceremonies, that sitting at the havan or performing a prayer in the mosque or being at the church on Sunday is extremely essential, because the mind, the right side of the brain specifically, understands ceremonies. You know what, there is a study, you might look for it online yourself, which says that if a neuron is left alone, it is isolated, it looks for connections. We as human beings are looking for connections, and one of the ways we feel connected is through the rites, through the ceremonies. That is an essential part of shamanism. So whichever healing we may be doing, whichever level I may be teaching, by the way, I teach 7 levels of shamanism, rites are an essential element to it, and ceremonies are started literally from the day one. It helps us feel integrated, feel healed, and it helps us feel connected. And believe you me, these are the 3 elements that the humanity needs the most right now. We need to know we are wanted, we need to know we are connected, and we need to know that we are not alone. The other essence is the oracle reading. A popular form of that is tarot reading that I am sure most of you have gotten done, a few of you may be doing it. Now, the oracle reading that I'm talking about in shamanism has a different angle to it, which is true for tarot also, by the way, which is that, you know, the double slit experiment in quantum physics, right? Wherein if you come in as an observer, the behavior, which is the nature of the light, changes. Similarly, when you get a tarot done with with cards, or you get a leaf reading done, or you get a stone reading done, which is primarily what we focus in shamanism, the outcome begins to alter itself. So usually people come to people like you come to people like us because you have challenges and problems, and of course people like us also go to people because, like every human, we also have challenges and issues. Now, when that comes in, the moment you have that observer, which is you in the process of the challenge that you've come into the shaman for, to the energy healer for, the throw of the leaves, the throw of the stones, or the taking out of the cards begins to change the outcome, because now you're present as an observer and the other observer in the form of an energy worker is present with you. That begins to change things. We have parallel destinies going out for us. There are a lot of options available to us. There is a lot of free will. You can access a higher destiny for yourself, maybe less possible right now, less probable right now, but with oracle reading it becomes possible. The third essence of energy work that I'm going to touch upon is Akashic Reading. I do not teach that. I do readings for people. I learned it from this beautiful woman, and I have done about 500 readings so far, perhaps more. The essence of that is that they are your records. I would like to call them, a part of the upper world of shamanism. Now, that is basically a guidance tool. So if you're looking for why this relationship didn't work for you, to what job should you take up in the future, what is a probable career direction that you can look at, to what is the purpose of your life, how come these things are still holding you back, all these answers lie in your Akashic records. Why? Because they are your records. They are in the etheric realm, which is not visible to people. And it is like, imagine it like a huge library. Now all the books in that library are your books, all the account of previous lifetimes, of this lifetime, all the thoughts, deeds, actions, the samskaras, every detail is in that record. So whichever aspect you want to know, we forget, there's amnesia that sets in when we are born here on earth. Now you can connect with an Akashic reader to get information. And remember, like the double slit experiment, as you get information, you become aware. Awareness itself begins your healing. So primarily shamanism, to begin with, meditation, of course, shamanism, the rites, ceremonies and rituals, the oracle reading, and Akashic reading is something that I want to talk about. The final thing that I want to mention here, just in super brief, is automatic writing. That is something which I began to experiment with a couple of years ago, and I'm beginning to see how it is helpful. People who have passed over to the other world, to the spirit world, we can connect with them and take messages for ourselves, take guidance. The angels, archangels, cherubs, master guides, your gurus, whosoever is there, you can connect with them and get information done. It really came into popularity with Miss Khurshid Bhavnagri's book called The 7 Laws of the Spirit World. And when I started to experiment it with myself, I'm a science student, so I like to explore things, I like to experiment with things, see for myself if they work. So I believe in learning by doing. I began to see the results of that. So that is another essence which definitely is worth exploring. I can help you with these domains. If anything interests you in particular, or all of these above, get in touch with me and we'll see what we can do together. Take care. All the best.